$10,000 for materials, and then the other $8,000 would be tied up in the equipment rental, heat material down, and punch it down, and compact all those pieces.
Who didn't know that?
And that $18,000 does not include their labor, so it's just for the materials.
Does not include.
Does not include their labor, yeah.
4 years now.
So I would, to get you a better quote for the material cost, Heidi, we would need to get slips from, because we have reference pieces, but I can provide slips when we get the quotes.
Okay, well, you have parking lot extension,
So-
new parking lot construction, and the pickleball court construction. So which one is this supposed to be?
So that's only pickleball. That was the original cost estimate that SDE had done the workup for based on other work that they had done elsewhere and prevailing prices for materials at the time. What we did when we went through the project in budgeting phase was cut out the trail, sorry, not the trail expansion, the
Additional parking?
the additional parking expansion, and we also cut back some of the stone laying so that our guys would do that themselves, so we wouldn't have to make that a part of the project. So when we did that, it came back to about $86,000, which is what we budgeted. I think what the Park and Rec Board now recommends is that we remove fencing, so it would just be laying down the macadam for the actual pickleball courts themselves, all of the nets and pieces along those lines, leveling different pieces along that, and stone purchases. So the actual work that's being done that you see right there, I think that that comes out to like 96,000, and then when we took it back off of the time it would take to lay down stone, our guys doing that, that's where we got to 86,000.
But that include the fence though.
That would include the fence,
Right,
yes.
so if we're taking the fence out, this project isn't gonna probably exceed 60.
So where does it say anything about the Antolani?
Well, that's what I was gonna say, you didn't
That-
ask, you asked for a walking
That
trail.
was not included.
Yeah, the walking trail was the top line number I had from Keith for 18,000. So that's what I started with. I said that the 18,000 was the top line number.
But it's
We-
not on this page.
That's
correct.
It's
Yeah,
not
that's
on
for
here.
pickleball, she's
Correct.
asking for the walking trail.
Yeah, so I don't have the
Okay,
walking,
all right.
yeah. So I need to get a material cost for the walking trail in a hard quote.
I follow
But
you now. but
Like,
that didn't-
like I said, I mean, Keith does this every day and he comes in at or under budget, so this is a calculation that's just based on materials and that's the prevailing cost of what materials are. So I trust that assessment that he gave.
So what is the number for this walking trail?
So if you're,
For the materials?
if, for the materials, 10,000. That's what we estimated when we were doing the back of the napkin. If you want a more specific amount, I'd have to get quotes to get that.
Unless you get it donated.
Unless we get it done, that's correct, yeah.
And when are you gonna know if it would be donated?
Before we go to install. Can you give me an idea about how often that happens? Like if we called one of the local contractors, let's say Schlauch as an example, when would you get the green light from them to say, yeah, we'll have extra after this job or something along those lines?
Well, probably within a week, you know, because they had a stockpile there, it's just a matter of, are they gonna give us the 200 ton of stone, whatever it came out to,
Yeah, how often would you say in a year that that happens?
that they give us stone,
Yeah,
only once.
okay. Wasn't that for a specific project?
It's nothing that we really asked before for donations of stone, but someone talked to me and I talked to them and back and forth and we got some free stone out of it.
Okay.
So that's, I figured I'd just go that well again and see what happens.
Yeah.
And save the township some money.
Well, I support, saving the township money, especially if you get stuff donated. So
Yeah.
that would
And
be
if somebody
great.
decides they do want to donate, and we put up a little sign of appreciation of,
Absolutely.
that might be an incentive as well. So,
Can we go back to the pickleball courts a second? Depending on what the costs are, this project has to be up to bid.
yes,
So you're authorizing
The bid.
the bidding of the project.
Yeah.
yes.
But that
So
should
we're
be,
all clear.
it should, the dollar amount, I guess, we're approving it based on what was budgeted, the amount that was budgeted.
But it has to go for
Well,
But it has to go.
Correct.
The
Correct.
bid, and you approve the lowest bidder. So
But we should be beating it by far if we're removing the fence. I'm saying we need to update all that stuff. So,
Agreed.
okay, all right.
And if Keith is gonna be doing the rough grading and the stoning, we're not gonna be bidding that portion of the work either. We'll just be bidding, the portion of the work that the township's not gonna grow.
Yeah.
But the agenda just said receive quotes, we wanna make sure we're actually more formal, because there's 3 different ways, you just
Right, but I
do a
mean,
project, get quotes or bid, so this is actually
my
going.
point is, we need to tighten up what we're going out for bid for. is what-
Yeah, well,
Agreed.
that would have to be developed. The reason that you need the quotes, though, is so that we know that we're still in the ballpark of where we anticipate with these bids. Because for Tom to develop it and spend like the $1,200 for actually doing this versus getting quotes for free is pretty much a waste of time. If you guys then come back and say all that material would cost $100,000, so that's why we're doing the quotes first. Because we don't want to be in that situation.
Then we would have a different conversation.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. The other thing that's beneficial about getting quotes in this way is you get the bidders interested ahead of actually posting out the project. Because no matter how we do this, for it to be the same project done within the same year, it's going to have to be bid. It's establishing what needs to be done within there and what do we expect that to cost.
So we're all on the same page.
Yep.
Good.
Discuss approval to apply for open space plan grants.
What exactly is that?
Did you approve walking trail?
Yes, me and Dave did.
We
Do it if you just.
If we'll do it
Yeah,
again.
I don't think.
I made the motion to approve not to exceed 18,000, receive quotes and schedule the work for the Elmwood Heights walking trail.
Josh seconded, according to Christina's notes.
Okay,
Well, I just have just kind of with the understanding that we were looking for donated materials of up to $10,000, which would reduce our
which would
costs.
reduce our amounts if we would get donated.
But we did it not to exceed 18,000.
Correct.
Right.
That was part of his motion, so,
Mhm.
so just need to vote on it.
All right, I'll support that.
All in agreement?
All right.
Aye. Okay. Discuss the approval to upfit the new truck with.
Well, now you missed the open space plan.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to hurry up. so
We're
I
jumping
know-
all
I know.
around here, yeah, so.
So the open space plan grants, DCNR and DCED run grant applications for the planning and construction of parks. Our intention here with the open space plan grants is to apply to DCNR for their specific planning grant and to DCED for their joint parks grant, because they have one that will match up to the DCNR one. So whatever costs you would have to bear from the DCNR grant, you would bear it in the DCED grant with a parallel application. So the concept there is creating a plan, an open space plan that's comprehensive for all the townships, parks, trails, greenways, all those different pieces. The real benefit of this is it creates the foundation on which you build on future improvements, on future park plans. I know the Parks and Rec Board has talked about Onalani Heights Park a lot, any other improvements we would want to put into Community Park. So the idea is creating this plan that gives you your North Star as you're going ahead for the next 2 decades or so, because this is a very in-detail plan, and have the state pay for it. If we didn't get both grants, there would be a decision about what we would want to do. But when I spoke to the representative for DCNR, they were very bullish on moving forward with this. So I think that we have a good shot against some other communities. But it's really going to be dependent on what comes back. This would be one that I work on. These plans are expensive. So they are a strong foundation, but they are an expensive foundation. So that's why we would want to try and apply for both of the DCNR grant, DCED grant, to pay for the entire cost.
And what's the dollar amount?
The dollar amount, well, the only quote that I got back so far was $86,000.
And what's that 86,000 for covered?
It's a master plan. It's a
Okay.
master plan of the whole township for all your park and recreation needs and wants. And then what it does is that if you want to start to implement that plan and start to do construction of projects and apply for grants for that, you get rated so much higher when you have an
Plan.
overall master plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And is there a grant to cover that 86,000?
That's what he's saying.
That's
Yes.
That's
You're
what he's-
saying.
that's what
Yeah,
he's-
both of those together
Would
would
come
cover
toge-
it.
right.
Yes.
So-
If we didn't get one or the other, that's when the board needs to make a decision.
Okay.
Do we want to pony up any of the participant costs? I don't think that you'll be in that position. Normally, people do pay for them that way. They get both. I don't know if they're talking to each other in the office or anything between DC and RDCD. The other component to that too is you do a huge amount of public outreach. So I think the quote that I had, that was 96,000, that was 10 meetings that would happen where you bring in folks from the public. So this isn't Maidencreek's high ivory tower plan. This is all the folks that are interested to come to a meeting or all of the meetings are gonna have input on the ultimate outcome that we see. So that's the beauty of it, and I think that's, and
We take small bites with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, it's just
So-
the overall concept.
It would actually make, it would make sense to just go ahead and apply for the grant, develop the plan, and then start working on that like we're working on our long-term budget for roads.
It essentially makes you a punch list.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Doesn't commit us to anything at this point,
and sorry.
but it commits us to an idea, a concept. And if we don't start with the concept, we don't go anywhere.
Well, I think the other really important piece of this is post-COVID, and for my generation especially, which is now becoming homeowners faster than any other generation,
You bought a home?
I did not, no. We can talk about how I could get there, though.
I think we already have.
Is this the generation that wasn't born in 2003? Is that what we're talking about?
So the importance of this is now millennials and in post-COVID economy, the importance of outdoor space in a way that's, I'll say, packaged for people is increasingly important deciding where you want to live. You want to make sure that you're in an area that has parks. You want walking trails, you want places that are safe to jog, different pieces along these lines. And those are ultimately going to be home decisions that people choose one community over another. That's not to say that Maidencreek is ever going to have a problem bringing residents in. That's not so much the issue. It's the quality of life improvement that people are coming to expect from government.
Well, I don't even know if we have to vote on this, do we? Or do we
Oh, we
want to
make-
No,
make a motion
authorize.
to authorize?
The manager to
I'll make
pursue.
a motion, we authorize Hunter to apply, I guess whoever will apply for open space plan grants.
Yeah.
Well, you said it was gonna be you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll second that.
All
We
in
need
agreement?
some firms to submit quotes.
Aye.
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 3 under the bus there, Tom, I'm sorry.
Now we're gonna upfit the truck.
So this upfit is to add all the pieces that we need on a day-to-day basis. Utility boxes, lights. Other than utility boxes and lights, anything else you want to add?
No, this is basically everything besides the plow and spreader and hydraulics.
Yeah.
You said, that's the big thing.
Plow, spreader, and hydraulics we have on the agenda for May, after we successfully, with the board's permission, it's later down the agenda here.
I don't know why I have it down there, I was gonna say that, why don't you have that lumped with this, because it kinda goes hand in hand there.
This makes it usable because it puts emergency lighting on it.
Oh, no, I know,
Yeah.
but the intent is to sell these other vehicles on municipal,
Oh, yeah.
finances for that to cover the cost of some of this stuff.
Of the plow and the
Right.
hydraulics, and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so we're looking at a cost here of $5,558. So you make the truck ready for use on our roadways. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second that.
All in agreement?
Aye.
Okay, light row at Blandon Fire Company ball fields. I guess this is the same price that we paid last year, correct?
This is the same price we paid last year. They are holding it until the end of the month.
Well, it was 30 days from the quote that I gave you, so I think we're like within a couple days of that going away.
Okay. They said that they were gonna honor it for us for the meeting, because they knew we had the meeting.
Okay.
This is the same price that we paid last year. This is based on an offer from the girls softball team, Fleetwood Girls Softball Association.
I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah, FGSA is how I know the acronym. They are paying for the installation of a pole and the labor, and they ask that we pay for the lights. So the Parks and Rec Board recommended that we do this. We just need board approval because of the size of the cost. We would maintain them from thereafter.
Is this in our budget?
No, it wasn't specifically budgeted. I think that because of the size, you can make it work, but no, it was not explicitly budgeted.
Well, does it exceed the 10%?
No, no. This is $7,000
Yeah,
compared to
sure.
like 200
61.
something. Oh, it's
6185.
61.
And 0 cents. You know, good.
Yeah.
That does make sense. Anyway.
You're very punny today. Always surprising.
Yeah, I was gonna say, today's not. Oh, it's the Pepsi, that
So
does.
Pepsi. I took the Coke challenge and they gave me Pepsi instead.
Next
You
meeting,
always have Pepsi.
I
next
do.
meeting, I'll bring one of these in for them.
No, I can't. My cardiologist won't permit that. Okay, so do I have a motion for the light rail purchase not to exceed $6,185?
I'll make the motion, because I know it's last year's cost.
Do I have a second?
All right, I'll second.
All in agreement?
Aye.
Permission to list vehicles on municipal bid.
So I have 3 vehicles that we want to list. Just gotta find my paperwork here.
Just-
So,
so by that whole,
Yeah,
so the first one is the sale of the 2004 Chevy Tahoe. When you go out today, there is a vehicle right there as the 2004 Chevy Tahoe. It has a lot of issues.
it was Lenny Mole's vehicle in the police department. It was shot when we got it.
I'm sure it was.
It is, as the Germans say, kaput.
Yeah.
We understand. It's 20
Okay.
years old.
Second one?
So we want to try and sell it so that we can get some money for it rather than taking it to a scrapyard because it has no utility here. The second one is the 1999 GMC 3500 pickup truck. This is a vehicle that will probably last until its inspection is usable in October. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. This one, in the long term, doesn't serve a lot of benefit, and with the 902 recycling grant coming up, we think that we'll be okay without a truck while we get a new truck with the 902 recycling grant this summer.
Does this one have a plow on it?
yes,
It does.
it does,
So somebody's private purchase
absolutely.
would be fine to use on private property. They don't need to get it inspected.
Is the plow going with it?
Yeah.
It would have to, if it's at,
Oh.
yeah, unless you had to fish them out.
Just so you get an idea of the issues, it needs a new bed because there's extensive rot in the bed. The gas tank leaks, there's issues with the muffler, the master cylinder has a leak, the brake lines are rusty, brake hoses are cracked.
When do you ever have this stuff?
Yeah, I think you just lost the saleability.
Is this all in the ad?
We got a deal for you.
Fire
Make a
work.
good used car salesman.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Medical
hey, you work
examiner's
for,
final.
I did, I sold
you
cars.
would-
It's
yeah,
great
you would
luck
say
that
that.
Can we sell you this? Sure we can.
The other
Plow's
one,
good.
and I'll let Keith speak to the specifics on this specific truck, but it's the replacement for the truck we just received back, which it's 2006.
2000, you sure? 2007?
I-
I don't know.
You drive them, man, I do not.
Well, I gave you the list, I didn't drive a truck, that's fine.
Oh,
I
it was
thought-
just that it was written down.
I thought I gave you the list.
Were you writing that in Chinese or something?
It's getting
it's
long.
long.
It's after 10 o'clock, so. it's-
2008 GMC 5500. We expect to get a decent amount for this. It's 8.1 liter gas engine, automatic, has less than 50,000 miles on it. We think that another township will probably pick this up and use it in their fleet. It's just that we want to conserve the space for the vehicle we just got rather than use it on a vehicle that is supposed to be a replacement. Anything else you want to add to that?
Nope.
No? Okay.
Okay, so you need a motion for that?
Yeah, I think because
Okay.
it's township property and it's valuable in that way.
Well, we'll discuss.
Well, I don't know about
value at a
number
different
two, but
point.
yeah.
This is really relevant. Can I- Before we do that though, do we talk about what got tore out at Onalani Heights, about the backstop? Is that something that we're speaking for elsewhere, or we're gonna hang on to that for now? Because that's something we could also throw on municipal, you know.
Oh, okay, do you mean where the walking trails would go?
I mean, I have a thought on that too, but
Well,
it's already ripped out of the ground. So there's a backstop that was back where, in Onalani Heights, where we were gonna put this walking trail. The baseball diamond doesn't get used anymore, the guys ripped it out, we still have it. The backstop is worth some money though. I don't know how much it's already used, probably not a terrible amount, but, I, either we list it on municipal, or I have a suggestion, we make a donation to like the Lions Club or something like that, with it, where it can get utilized, still in our community, but it's not on our property. But if we're gonna go forward with listing it,
Nothing prevents you from going both, you can list them as bids, see if you get a bid, you sell it, if you don't get one, then maybe the donation is more
Right, that's
appropriate
true.
then, because you try to sell it.
Yeah.
so.
We're not gonna use it? No chance of us using it?
I don't know where we would go with it, honestly. Do you have any ideas?
I offered it to the girls softball, it's not exact fit that they want,
Right.
so they're kinda, eh.
Right. I just see, Lions Club's big in our community, that's why I was throwing that out there, because,
Yeah.
And I
Well,
know he's not gonna bring it up because he's the president of it, but I think it's.
I'll ask him Monday night.
So maybe wait.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, so, never mind. We'll
Yeah.
table it, that's fine.
no, we'll backstop it.
There you go.
We won't table it.
Well, I wanna talk with the Lions Club, if I can just make something up. We had, just 2 weeks now, I talked at our Park and Rec meeting, we had a bunch of kids that were, I guess, devil worshiping in the back of the Grove. They killed, what was it?
Canadian goose.
The snow goose.
Was it snow?
Cut the head off, cut the feet off, nailed it to the tree, made a circle, had, the devil worship symbols all over the place, so.
The head and the feet were in the,
Yeah, I have pictures. We made a report to the police, so we took it down, but if you go by the Grove, it's open right now until we get a gate put up and locked. You want to just drive in and look, just make sure, but we found out a couple of kids are having devil worship after school, so.
can't they have that in school?
And I'm gonna tell you that that's not real devil worship,
Well,
from my.
it's-
From your devil
past.
worship?
Yeah, it's,
I gotta tell you that they wouldn't leave it there if it was truly that,
mhm.
so I think it's just kids.
They would have backed it up.
Amateurs.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right, well,
Yeah.
thank you for the information. If we could just move,
Right, to that.
yeah, I move that we list the 2004 Tahoe, the 1999 GMC 3500, and the 2008 GMC 5500 vehicles for municipal.
I have a second.
I'll second that
All
motion.
in agreement?
just for my benefit, you did say the 1999.
Yeah, she said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
All three vehicles. And call for the vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so upcoming meetings, Park and Rec, March 23rd, 7 PM. Conditional use hearing number 5, March 27th at 6:30 PM. Our planning commission meeting, April 5th at 7 PM. And our next board of supervisor meeting is April 13th at 7 PM. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
I'll second that.
All in agreement?
Aye.
Thank you all.